Hello and welcome to today's seminar, Professional Dress and Appearance for Men. It's quite common for guys to not place as much focus into their day-to-day wardrobe, simply assuming that what they have is passable for a professional lifestyle. This is not something to be assumed, however, but assessed. So let's get started.
They say your smile is the first thing the interviewer sees. Your clothes are probably a close second, so they should be very seriously considered. Appropriate and kempt dressing practices show that you are not only taking the interview seriously, but you have an attention and care for the details.
Many people assume that the rule of thumb for interviews is to dress according to how employees who work for the intended company dress themselves. For example, if the company has a very casual dress code, it would seem appropriate to show up in kind. However, this is not the case. No matter how casual the business, you always want to show a bit of class. Now, this doesn't mean that if you've applied to a company where the dress is typically a t-shirt and jeans, you should slick your hair back and put on a tux. Wear something formal, but not over the top. An ideal option in such a case would be a long-sleeve white button-up shirt with a nice pair of black slacks and dress shoes. This sends the message that while you are interested in the company and in turn the dress code, you find the interview to be something worth dressing up for, while not appearing too distant from the organization's culture.
If you're not well versed in the company's dress code, a good idea is to check out the company's website. Oftentimes businesses will post pictures here and there around the site of employees at work. If you have any serious doubt, it's always a safe bet to contact the company's HR department. As a rule of thumb, however, jobs in a more creative environment, such as tech jobs or work in advertising, tend to have more lenient dress codes, whereas corporate jobs or anything dealing with customers will usually have stricter rules on dress. Remember, it's always better to be overdressed than underdressed.
If you arrive to an interview and feel overdressed, the best strategy is to remove your jacket to hang over your chair when you sit and complement the atmosphere that the casual dress inspires. You're sending a message as to how important you find the interview. If, on the other hand, you arrive to find yourself underdressed, try to compensate for this by presenting yourself in an overtly professional manner. Keep a straight-backed posture and keep your speech formal. Avoid the space fillers such as well, and like. And it would also help if you briefly comment on how you may have misunderstood the dress code and that you look forward to an increased level of professionalism on your own part in the future.
It should be noted that business attire and smart casual are not to be confused. The darker the clothing, the dressier, and business attire tends to be on the darker side. Ties are not optional. Jackets are not optional. Business attire pants and jacket must be the same color and tailored from the same fabric. Business casual is quite the opposite. Ties and jackets are necessary only by situation. Lighter pants and khakis are usually ideal.
You also want to be sure that the color of your belt is identical to that of your shoes. Socks should match with the rest of your clothing, but should never stand out. Dark tones are best. Accessories are also important. A dark or black leather binder or briefcase along with a high-quality pen will complement your professional tone. Shoes should be a polished, reflective black without exception. You also want to wear muted ties as to not take away from your professional mannerisms.
It should be noted that for business attire, colors other than white and shades of blue are not appropriate for dress shirts. Other colors may be worn for business casual, however. Cologne should not be worn unless sparingly due to common allergies.
Hair should be kept well-groomed. Teeth should be clean with breath kept fresh. Body odor should never be present for any reason.
Let's review. It's always better to be overdressed than underdressed, but try to stay close to the company's policy. Darker clothes are typically dressier than lighter clothes.
You want to keep to white or shades of blue when adhering to business attire. Make sure your belt and shoes are the same tone, strongly preferred as black. Socks should never be a light tone and shouldn't stand out.
Hygiene is vitally important. Overt body odor will kill any interview, and breath is the next most dangerous opponent. Clean, bright teeth can also set you apart from similar candidates. Using these techniques for your next interview, you'll finally be prepared. Now suit up.
Hi, today we have an expert on hand to talk to us about business professional attire for men. His name is Mr. Ed Meyer. He is the business librarian for St. Tammany Parish Library. Mr. Meyer, you've done interviews before, correct?
Yes.
And when somebody comes in for an interview, what is it that you look for?
They have to be dressed professionally. The library is a professional occupation. I expect men, for instance, to be in a suit and tie, and women to be in a nice dress or a pantsuit or something.
So Go ahead.
I don't
Elsa.
expect to see people in jeans and T-shirts.
So if somebody would come in for an interview and they had a stellar resume, how important is the way they look to you? Even though their resume, they
Oh,
may
it's still
be...
very important.
Okay.
You have to look the part. And if they're showing up for an interview not looking the part, that leads me to believe that in day-to-day real life, they won't show up dressed appropriately.
Exactly. Is there any other questions that you might have, Josh, for Mr. Meyer?
Sure. Are there any parts of professional dress, particularly for men, that would stand out as something that might be wowing?
No, I mean, the interviews I've done, men always show up in a suit and tie or a sport coat and tie.
So it's never been a problem in the past?
No, I haven't had that problem.
Okay.
And I think you did kind of cover it, but I was going to ask, what would potential employees, should they avoid in going into an interview situation dress-wise? I mean, jeans and a T-shirt.
My feeling is you never hurt by overdressing. So wear a coat and tie, wear a nice pantsuit, wear a nice dress, look professional. It doesn't matter if you're selling widgets or you're working in a library. You have to look the part. You've got to project a professional image.
Well, thank you, Mr. Meyer. We appreciate those points. I think that says it all, and it ties in with our professional seminar that we're doing today on the well-dressed professional man. Thank you again, Mr. Meyer.
Thank you.